I will tell you what I think is the consequence of some of this flooding. I get it, nature's doing what nature's doing, Shanique, but I think the fact that we had such an horrendously terrible Minister of Works for 4 years, right, we are now reaping the seed of that benefit. I invite the motoring public to drive all along Tonic Williams, to drive all along Blue Hill Road, all down Blue Hill South, and everywhere where there are major drainage systems. Here is what you will find. There is enough sediment in those drains to build a hotel.
No,
that didn't accumulate over 6 months. That didn't accumulate in 1 year. It means that Thomas Desmond Bannister was an abhorrent failure in the Ministry of Works and allowed this drainage system to come to this. Now, what I believe has happened, I'm no engineer, is that all of those major thoroughfares that they have designed to kind of run water towards so that it could run off, if all the drains are flooded, what do you imagine is going to happen? It's going to find itself into small pockets. I hear Richard say 2 foot. 2 foot of water is enough water to drown a baby, right? But here is what else is interesting, Shanique. Global warming is a real thing, whether you want to believe it or not. And if it's not, definitely rising tides are a real thing.
It is.
And so it means that we've got to begin to change our approach. I went to Canada in 2016. And in 2016, the Canadians in the Toronto area were vacuum pumping their streets dry of water. I said then that that was the direction we ought to have been going in. You know, there's a couple of engineers around here that disagree with me, but the truth of the matter is, right, well systems will no longer save us because if the tide rises, the wells will rise to meet the surface. We have got to now practice what is called water displacement, and we either take this water and tank it, or take the water and pour it to areas where there aren't flooding and introduce the water back to natural spaces. Outside of that, people maybe we need to look at universal flooding insurance for all persons living in Nassau, because every single time it rains, there is going to be the horrendous experience that people will lose valuables in these
Shanique,
floods.
before we move on, Shanique, I cannot allow continue to always attack good people who do good work. I don't know Desmond Bannister to be an engineer. I don't know Desmond Bannister to be a foreman on a job or to be the guy, the skilled man doing the work. Desmond Bannister oversaw one of the massive construction in the history of this country in terms of 4 years. We've talked about more roads being paved, bridge got fixed, docks got fixed, parks, roads, sidewalks, and you talking about he did a disaster.
They had 32 million.
I think he has great accomplishment.
They had $32 million
as a deputy prime minister of this country.
They had $32 million.
And I want to say kudos to Desmond Bannister for doing extremely well as a minister of works.
You were saying that cleaning the verges is not something that he is responsible for.
You cannot tell the minister that he must go there and clean the verges.
Leslie Miller just
You cannot tell the minister.
No, but shouldn't the minister, though, have insisted that whichever who is responsible...
Absolutely. It is not the minister's job to go there and clean any verges. It is the minister's job to make these points. And we have people in the ministry who need to get off their laurels, who are being paid by the Bayman people, who are not doing their job in the Ministry of Works. So let's talk about those people.
But that continues to happen.
Okay?
But the minister
ought to lick them up, right?
But
I'll tell you what happened.
Well, I will not allow Leavin to do. To in any way to attack the record of one of the best ministers of works this country have seen in a long time. That will not happen. That will not happen.
I've never heard such speak in all my life.
That's nonsense.
It is no way you could say that a man was successful in his attributes as
very
minister
successful
because he poured $32 million worth of sidewalk. But that same success cannot then be transitioned into his failure by allowing the drainage system to not be maintained. Well,
so is he the guy responsible for the maintaining of the drainage?
He doesn't build.
He's not. The minister is a policy. The minister is a policy maker.
Yeah,
let me
come in the middle.
Thank you very much.
So you're saying he did exceptional work. He was a great minister. He did a lot of stuff. But he didn't clean. He didn't ensure.
He didn't
ensure that the drainage was clean and clear.
The minister, for his edification, a minister is a policy maker.
I get that. But they're also, Richard, the person responsible for whichever portfolio it is that they're given to make it happen. Yes, let's move on.
Yes, they are. But he was one of the best ministers of works.
We have much more to row about coming up right here.